Hello, Branch Academy family. Welcome to today's session on grade 8 project, that's agriculture. So we want to establish and manage a kitchen garden. So let's see what we are supposed to do when we are performing this task. So you find out that a kitchen garden is a small area where vegetables, herbs and spices are grown near the home or school for food use. And sometimes we find that a kitchen garden will help to provide fresh vegetables, improve nutrition, saves money and teaches learners important farming skills. And we find out that this project is going to help learners identify food related problems in the community and solve them by establishing and managing a kitchen garden. So let's start explaining each step one by one, and let's start by the problem identification. So this is an area that the learners are supposed to participate in. So what is problem identification as pertaining this project? Problem identification is the process of finding out challenges related food, nutrition, or farming in the school or community. So this problem can include lack of enough vegetables in homes or schools, high cost of vegetables in the market. You find that we have poor nutrition among learners and dependency on buying vegetables daily. So these are some of the problems the learners can identify so that they can come up with a suitable solution to them by establishing a kitchen garden. So, and how are they going to collect evidence? So ways of collecting evidence will include taking photographs, recording short videos, uh, interviewing teachers, parents, or community members. And also they can write notes from observation, things that they see when they are out there. So they note down the observation. Then after collecting the evidence, now they are going to designing the solution. Already you have identified the problem, now you have to come up with the solution to that problem, and that's what they are supposed to do. So here we are going to check on how a kitchen garden will solve the problems, and it's going to help by providing fresh vegetables, improving nutrition and health, reducing food expenses, and supplying vegetables throughout the season. And also it's going to teach these learners farming skills. So after doing that, it's good also we check on the crops suitable for a kitchen garden. And here I want to focus on the vegetables. So the learners can select, we have kales, spinach, cabbage, tomatoes, or onions. So those are some of the crops that the learners can choose to come up with one of it in their kitchen garden. Then what will necessitate these learners to choose one type of vegetable here? So you find that we have reasons for selecting the crop, and one of the reasons, will that crop mature fast, or will it be easy to grow, or does it have high nutritional value, or does it have high demand in homes and schools? Or does that group crop suitable for local climate? Or is that crop require small space? So those are some of the reasons that will let these learners to select a certain crop. So when they tell you that, teacher, we want to plant a spinach, can you go ahead and ask them the reason why they have decided to choose spinach? And remember, this information, they will be writing it down so that they can keep it in their portfolio. So make sure they follow the steps provided on the assessment paper. Now, how to establish a kitchen garden? how to establish a kitchen garden. And here we are going to start with the materials and tools. So the tools the learner will be assembling, we have jembe, panga, garden fork, rake, watering can, wheelbarrow, string and pegs. Then we have spade. Then the materials, they can have kale seeds or seedlings, water, manure or compost, mulching materials, topsoil, pesticide if necessary. Then after that, they are going to select the site, selecting the site. So under the selecting the site, let them choose a place that receives enough sunlight, has fertile soil, is near a water source, has proper drainage, and that place should be protected from animals, because remember, these vegetables sometimes act as food for the animals, so that place should be protected from animals. Then after that step, now we move to the clearing the land, because we have already selected the place. Now that place we have to clear it so that we can make it ready for the next step. So under the clearing the land, we are going to remove bushes, weeds, stones and rubbish. Then cut unwanted grass using a panga or a slasher, and collect and dispose of waste properly. Then after that, let the learner dig the soil. And here they are going to dig the soil deeply using a jembe, then break large soil clods and remove roots and stones, then mix soils with manure. Now, after they have done all that, they are going to prepare the nursery bed. The nursery bed, in case they are using the nursery bed. So here they are, in case they are using the seeds, they are going to prepare a nursery bed. So here they are going to make uh, a raised bed about 1 meter wide, as you can see on my video there, I have displayed. Then they are going to mix soil with compost manure, then level the nursery bed using a rake, and finally make shallow drills using a stick. They'll have already prepared the nursery bed, and after that let them plant the seeds. And under planting the seeds, let them follow this procedure. Let them sow seeds thinly in rows, then cover lightly with fine soil, water them gently, and add mulch to conserve moisture. And important note, seeds usually germinate after 5 to 7 days, and they'll be ready for transplanting after 4 to 6 weeks, when they have 4 to 6 true leaves. So let's check on that one also. Then now we want to transplant seeds, and that means they have 4 to 6 true leaves. So under that one, we are going to start by watering nursery before uprooting seedlings. We make sure we water it before uprooting the seedlings. Then we are going to dig planting holes. So after watering the seedlings, you are going back to dig the planting holes, where you will be planting the seeds that will have already transplanted from the seedling. Then we are going to space seedlings properly, about 45 centimeters by 45 centimeters. Then you place seedlings carefully into holes and firm soil around the roots. And after that, let them water immediately after transplanting. And also an important point to note here is that best time for transplanting is evening or cloudy day to reduce wilting of the crop. After that, they have already carried out main procedures or activities under this task. Now the remaining part will be the part of crop management practices, and under that one, some of the practices that this learner have been taught in class, we have watering, weeding, we have mulching, applying manure or fertilizer, then pest and disease control. So those are some of the practices they will be undertaking after they have transplanted their seedling in their seed bed now. So in conclusion, you find that establishing a kitchen garden for kales is simple when the correct procedures are followed. Proper land preparation, planting, watering, weeding, and pest control is going to help produce healthy vegetables. Now, you find out that I have displayed each step, the image of each step on my videos, and that's going to guide you on what you are going to do. Remember, here we guide and the learners will go to the field and try to do it. So thank you for watching and have a blessed day.